spring of 2014, my buddy David and I attempted to ride motorcycles from Denver to Moab and back in 5 days. The idea was to rent bikes in Denver and head out west. We'd cross the Rockies, camp along the way, and hopefully spend a day or two exploring off-road paths in Moab, famous for incredible landscapes and dizzying drops. Looking back, this trip was also special in that it was one of the first true adventures I tried capturing along the way, and I did this with just one camera, my very first GoPro. No view screen, no stabilization, just point, shoot, and hope for the best. It was surreal to have started on one side of the Rockies with nice warm weather, only to find a chilling snowstorm up top. As we made our way back down, the air warmed up a bit, but it still remained cold until we made our way all the way back down to the bottom.
It's freezing. Riding at these guys, and a nice bag over my hands, and it's still cold. 2 pairs of socks.
And he wanted to do that last night. He had planned that by the end of the night to keep going all the way here.
No other bikers on the road, not yet. Maybe in a month.
There's a reason.
The landscape kept changing drastically as the hours and miles went by. The colors, rock formations, vegetation, all kept changing as we continued on our way to Utah. When we finally made it to Moab, we set up camp as fast as we could and headed back out to find a good spot to enjoy the sunset. Riding into the sun as we climbed in altitude was certainly one of the highlights of the trip.
Why? You're gonna throw those at me?
The landscape we found as we went off-road was surreal. Being my first time in Utah, I could not believe the colors, size, and magnitude of the canyons and walls. Making our way down a set of hairpin turns with a huge drop on a new bike I had just started riding 2 days before was unnerving, but really fun. And the view from the bottom was absolutely stunning.
Up to 550 miles. It's 4:45, day 3. When did we start today?
9 a.m. So we were riding for 7 hours, yeah. Nice. I guess.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Alright, so we stopped at a diner. This is our last meal in Moab.
Last meal and first meal.
Yes, true.
First real meal of the day.
True, because we didn't eat anything.
Other than banana.
But yeah, that was beef jerky and lots of water.
Over the days, we had been monitoring an incoming storm. We had hoped to have a bit more time to explore and spend in Moab and have a good pace back to Denver on day 4 and 5. But sadly, we had to try to get out and outrun the storm as much as we could on our way east. Same direction the storm was moving in. The crosswinds in flat areas were also just making things difficult and forced us to stop more often than we wanted. Ron, our contact and bike provider, would be able to meet us outside of Denver if the storm overtook us, but only as far as Vail. So that meant we had to really keep a fast pace all day. Here we finally had just 3 miles to go. Finally, we made it to Vail, where Ron was able to come meet us just as the snow started coming down in full force. Without his help, we would not have been able to make our flight back. The storm was to last a couple of days, and the roads from Vail to Denver would not be friendly for our bikes.
Last day. Snowstorm. We made it. Last deal. What the hell is that? That looks disgusting. We got towed. We did. We're at the airport. We made it. Let's see if the plane actually takes off. So 850 miles in 5 days. Not too much.